Hi guys, this is Ranjit, and in this video we'll be doing a AMA and a FAQ session for the Asus Zenfone Max Pro, and I've been using this device for the last 5 days, and this is going to be a different kind of a FAQ video. In fact, yesterday I tweeted about this, and Asus officials also asked me if you have some common questions that I was getting from you guys, they would answer that. So I also took up quite a few tricky questions, and I posted to Asus officials here 2 papers, and they have replied to me. So first, let's talk about the answers that the Asus officials have given, and later on I'll also be doing the FAQ. And I've selected the most common questions that I was getting from you guys. So first, let's this is the big question that I was getting from most of you, and I asked this question to the Asus officials. This was, will the Zenfone Max Pro will be sold via flash sales or open sales on Flipkart? Quite a few were asking about this, and this is the reply that I got from Asus official. They say Zenfone Max Pro is intended to be sold through open sales and not flash sales. In case, they say, the Zenfone Max Pro does go out of stock, Asus will make every endeavor to replenish the stocks as soon as possible. So it looks like they're not going with the flash sales. That's what it goes, but if it gets sold out, they will replenish it. So fair. Second question I was getting a lot is regarding the 6GB RAM variant. So I asked them, so Zenfone Max Pro, when is the 6GB RAM variant going to be available? And according to them, they say that Zenfone Max Pro 6GB variant is planned for the early introduction and will be launched within 6 weeks of the launch of the 3 or 4GB variant. So that means initially on May 3rd, we'll be seeing only the 3GB and the 4GB RAM variant. And the 6GB RAM variant will be coming around after 6 odd weeks or within 6 weeks. Next question that I was getting is regarding VoLTE. Quite a few have asked this one. And does it support VoLTE for Vodafone, Airtel and Idea? And this is the answer that they said. They say that the Zenfone Max Pro supports VoLTE for Jio out of the box. I tested that. Yes, it works. And they say that Asus plans to update the Max Pro to support VoLTE for Airtel, Vodafone and Idea through a FOTA update. That means firmware over the air update in the future. And they say that the Zenfone Max Pro also supports dual 4G LTE VoLTE standby, and consumers can enjoy VoLTE calls on both the SIMs without the need to switch to a particular SIM manually. And I did test this functionality of the simultaneous, dual 4G VoLTE, and I tested this one with 2 Jio SIMs, and it actually works. And here is a screenshot of my phone. In fact, I'm using it with 2 4G SIMs. One is Airtel and Jio, and as you can see, both are getting 4G signal. And yes, I tested it even with 2 Jio SIM simultaneously, and both actually work. So this is one of the rare smartphones that supports true dual 4G. Next is one more question that I was getting regarding electronic image stabilization, and some of you have also asked me, does it support optical image stabilization? It does not support optical image stabilization, and this is the question I posted to them. Will it get electronic image stabilization for 1080p through a OTA update? And they say currently, as of now, electronic image stabilization is not there on this smartphone, and they are currently testing it, and they are trying to implement it via software. So maybe with the future software update, they might implement electronic image stabilization, but as of now, electronic image stabilization is not enabled on this phone. Next, I'm getting this question quite from you regarding the glass. What is the type of protection that we have? So I asked them, does it have any protection for screen damage like Gorilla Glass, etc.? If so, what? And this is what they replied. They say that Zenfone Max Pro has a 2.5D durable high quality front glass. It is not using Corning Gorilla Glass. The glass used in the front has olophobic coating to prevent fingerprint smudges. So no Gorilla Glass on this. They didn't clearly mention which type of glass protection that we have. So this is the answer that I got from Asus official guys. And this is another interesting question that I got from a select audience, because it's running, this one is running almost clean Android version stock, not the Zen UI layer. So this is a question that I got from few of you. They were asking, can we have a word on unlocking of the bootloader from Asus India? There's a huge community for custom Android developers who keep an eye on this. Would be dope if we get this response on this. And this is the response. They said, at this moment, we are still testing. So maybe they will enable it later on. Now, regarding Android upgrades, also, this was one question that I got a lot, and I asked them. The question goes, regarding Android upgrades, you guys have mentioned two Android updates, that is Android P and Android Q. But what about Android monthly security updates? Please provide a clarity on that. And they say that ASUS is committing to a minimum bi-monthly security updates. Initially, the frequency of security updates will be higher. So looks like not every month we will get Android security updates, but bi-monthly we'll be getting the Android security updates. And again, when will be the 6 GB RAM variant be available? Again, I've already answered that after about 6 weeks. And lastly, there was also some confusion regarding the Bluetooth version on this one. So I asked them, and they confirmed that the Bluetooth version on this Zenfone Max Pro is Bluetooth version 5. So these were the questions that I posted to ASUS officials. Now let's move on to your questions and let me answer them. And guys, to be fair, I'm using the 3 GB RAM variant that is being sold for 11,000 rupees. I don't have the 6 GB RAM variant, so I can't comment about that. So whatever I'm answering is based on my usage with this smartphone that is having the 3 GB RAM. So the first question was from Rahul. He says, any improvement in the fingerprint reader? Yes, if you have seen my unboxing video, there the fingerprint scanner was very, very slow on this. Now we have got quite a few updates, and the fingerprint scanner responsiveness has improved slightly, as you can see, but again, it's not still very fast. I'm hoping with future Android, future OTA updates, this will get faster. So it's not that bad as you have seen in the unboxing, but still, again, it's not the fastest fingerprint scanner that I have seen. Next one is from Padmanam. He's asking, does it support quick charging? Should I wait for the 6 GB RAM or go with the 3 or 4 GB RAM variant? Regarding the quick charging, officially does not support quick charging, and I did test it with the Qualcomm Quick Charger 2 and it made no difference. So quick charging is not supported on this phone. The charger that you get in the box is a 5 volt 2 amp charger with outputs about 10 watts. If it was a fast charger, it should have outputted somewhere around 15 or 18 watts. And I tried it with the Qualcomm Quick Charger 2. It did not make any difference. So it does not support quick charging. Regarding charging time, I didn't time it exactly. It was around 16%. And after about, when I came about roughly about 2.5 hours, it was fully charged. So it does not support quick charging. But again, with the supplied charger, I would say typically if you charge, if it's around 15% or so, it will charge in about 2.5 hours. This is by Kamal. He's asking, any heating issues on the phone? No, there is no heating issues on the phone, and this is running on the Snapdragon 636 chipset. And with even other devices that I've tested that have the Snapdragon 636, I didn't face any heating issues. So no heating issues on this phone. I've been using it with my primary SIM for the last 5 days, so you don't have to worry about that. This is by Mandal. He's asking, is the battery life better than the Redmi Note 5 Pro? No, you have to get it. It's physics. The Redmi Note 5 Pro is having a 4000 milliamp hour battery, but this one is having 5000 milliamp hour battery. So 1000 milliamp hour more. So the battery life is actually very good in this. Even the Redmi Note 5 Pro had a very good battery life, but if you compare them side by side, yes, this will give you better battery life. And it was easily lasting me for about 1.5 days easily. And as you can see from these charts, it was giving me screen on time of about 8+ hours and about 7 hours, and this is about with 1.5 to almost 2 days of usage. So if you are a very heavy user in a single day, I would say easily screen on time about 9 hours you can get with this device. Next is from Newton. He's asking, how many updates did you got so far? I've got actually 3 OTA updates till now, and the ASUS team, when I asked for this, they also said that again on 29 they'll be rolling out one more FOTA update that will improve the performance. So they are quickly pushing out a lot of updates on this device. This is by Sagar. How is the output from the headphone jack? The output from the headphone jack is actually good. It has slightly, it's not completely flat, and it gives slight, bass and depth to the music. So I like the output that I was getting from the headphone jack. And I tested it with the Audio-Technica M40X and my Audio-Technica M50X, and I enjoyed the output that I was getting from the headphone jack. This is from Sati. She's asking, please compare the cameras with the Redmi Note 5 Pro. Any heating issues? Heating, as I've told you, none. Again, I didn't compare it with the Redmi Note 5 Pro, but one thing I would have to say is that front-facing camera would be definitely better with the Redmi Note 5 Pro. I'm not that impressed with the front-facing camera of this one. As you can see, these are some of the sample shots that I took. With the rear-facing camera, actually, it was very good. Even it has that portrait or bokeh mode, and that actually works even with the rear-facing camera. And as you can see, these are some of the sample shots that I've took with the rear-facing cam. The color accuracy, everything is good. But when we talk about the front-facing camera, the colors also actually look a little bit pale. So I'm not very happy with the front-facing camera, but the rear-facing camera performance is actually very good if we consider the price of this device. That is 11,000 rupees. This is by Sutar. He's asking, it seems to be Zenfone Max a better choice in the budget range, but which variant should be better, 3GB RAM or the 4GB RAM? Again, Sutar, I would say if you don't change your phones frequently, if you hold on to your phones for more than a year, I would suggest go with the 4GB RAM variant because it has 64GB of internal storage. That way, if you install a lot of apps also, and if you use a lot of WhatsApp and stuff, the internal storage is good enough. With this one, out of that 32GB, roughly 9 will be gone. So you'll just get about 23GB of internal storage. And if you're sort of a heavy user, you can easily fill that up very quickly in about 7-8 months. So if you plan to use the phone for more than 1 year, I would definitely recommend the 4GB RAM variant because of the 64GB of internal storage. Let's move to the next one. This is by E6 Tech about RAM management. Okay, interesting question. When I first got this device, before any OT updates, the RAM management was simply not that good. It was very aggressive in terms of RAM management, killing out the background apps. But now after those 3 updates, I don't know which update improved it, but definitely now the RAM management has improved quite a bit, and most of the apps actually stay in memory and you don't have to worry about it. So as you can see, these apps I opened like a couple of hours ago and they are still in memory. So RAM management has improved a lot. And guys, this is the 3GB RAM variant. Obviously, the 4GB and the 6GB RAM variant will have even better RAM management. So in terms of RAM management, earlier I was not happy, but now after the last OT updates, it is actually pretty good. Now moving to the next question. This is by Rashid. He's asking, how is the speaker loudness as compared to the Redmi Note 5 Pro? And Flipkart says the bundled charger is a 10 watt faster. 10 watt charger is not a fast charger, guys. It's just marketing speak. It's a normal 2 volt 5 amp charger, so it outputs at 10 watts. So it's a normal charger that you're getting. And in terms of loudness, yes, this one also has just a single speaker here at the bottom, and it's, I would say, for a single speaker, pretty loud. I would say it's not as loud as the OnePlus 5T, if I recall. It has a very loud speaker, but again, in terms of single speakers, it's above average in terms of loudness. So no problems regarding the single speaker. To give you an example, with most of the phones that have a single speaker, I always keep the volume when I'm watching YouTube videos at max. This one, I'm keeping it almost like 1 level or sometimes 2 levels down compared to the max. So in terms of volume level, the volume level is actually good for a single speaker. This is by Natraj. He's asking about EIS. Does it have EIS? As ASUS officials have answered, as of now, no. Might come with a software update, we don't know. And NFC, it does not have NFC, guys. But again, at this price point, we don't get NFC. Even the Redmi Note 5 Pro does not have NFC. This is by Desa. He's asking, how about net connectivity in low coverage area? You mentioned that in your office, your SIM has low coverage area. How good is the call quality and internet connectivity? Yes, Airtel, I use Airtel 4G and Jio. Jio has pretty good signal in my office, but Airtel, the signal is very low, as it's already Airtel has low signal in my building, and this room is a soundproof room, so it's generally on a very low 1 bar, but the quality of reception is actually very good with this phone. Even the Redmi Note 5 Pro had very good reception, I have to say. This one is also having very good reception. Even with Airtel 4G, I'm able to take calls sitting inside this office without getting dropped, which is insane. And that's the reason my primary SIM Airtel is still in this device. So the reception quality is actually very good on this one. Moving to the next one, this is by Niraj. He's asking, what do you think is the biggest strength, weakness against Redmi Note 5 Pro? This is an interesting one. I would say the Redmi Note 5 Pro is also a fabulous device. The biggest con I would say for the Redmi Note 5 Pro is the availability as of now. A lot of black marketing going on. I hope that doesn't happen with this device. In terms of battery life, yes, I would give a slight upper hand to this one because of the 5000 milliamp hour battery. In terms of front facing camera, I would give the edge to the Redmi Note 5 Pro. The front facing camera is clearly better on the Redmi Note 5 Pro. One big advantage again I found just today with this one is that this one supports true dual 4G VoLTE. So if you are a person who likes to use two GeoSIM simultaneously, you can do with this device. So both the devices are very good, but again you have to note that the Redmi Note 5 Pro is priced slightly higher. The base variant is for 14,000, whereas the base variant of this one is available for 11,000 rupees. So again, both are very good devices, but each has their strengths and weaknesses, as I've mentioned. Moving to the next one, this is by Jatin. How is the gaming performance of this device? Does it get a monthly security update? Regarding monthly security update, I've already mentioned earlier, Asus is saying that bi-monthly we'll be getting security updates. Regarding gaming, yes, I did a little bit of gaming. As you can see, I played the Asphalt Extreme on this one at the highest setting and it ran fine without any issues. I also tried Asphalt 8, which is a notorious game, at the highest graphics setting, and again, I did not have any problems playing even that game. So in terms of gaming, the gaming performance was very good. Another good thing is that even after gaming, the handset does not heat up. Yes, it gets slightly warm because it's having that metallic back, but it does not heat up. So the gaming performance was also actually very good on this device. So no worries regarding that. This is by Arun. He's asking, will it get face unlock with an update? Yes, Asus said that, even in the press material, they said that we will be getting the face unlocking with the OT update later on. This is by Mukherjee. He's asking, is it true that the Zenfone Max Pro does not support 5 GHz Wi-Fi? Yes. At least the 3 GB RAM variant and the 4 GB RAM variant does not support 5 GHz Wi-Fi band. It supports the normal 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi band. Okay, let's move to the last question. This was the last question. This is by Prabhag. He's asking, how well is it optimized in real world usage scenarios in terms of heat and day-to-day usage? As I've told you, in terms of heating, I didn't have any heating issues with this device. Also, as it's mostly stock, Asus is not trying to do a lot of with the bloatware skin or something. The general performance of this device is actually very good. And guys, this is having the powerful Snapdragon 636 chipset. So it's a very powerful chipset based on the Cryo cores. So it's a very powerful chipset. So in my usage, I never notice any lagginess or anything like that, even though I'm using the 3 GB RAM variant. So in day-to-day performance also, it's a very good device. You won't have any issues with the same. And again, heating is not a problem. I would say the only weakness I've noticed with this device as of now is the front facing camera. That is slightly weak. So guys, these were the common questions that I was getting regarding this one, and many of you have also asked me to test out the 6 GB RAM variant, because the 6 GB RAM variant is having a different camera modules. It has a 16 megapixel rear facing camera and a 16 megapixel front facing camera, which is different from this one. I don't have access to that. So if I've asked Asus team to send me that unit, if they do that, then I will try to compare that one with this one and see if there is a huge improvement in the camera performance between this version and that version. So guys, these were the common questions that I was getting regarding the Asus Zenfone Max Pro. So if you still have any other questions regarding this device, do post your questions in the YouTube comment section below. I'll try to answer them. And if you're still not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video. Take care, guys.